Imagine a towering, 7-foot beast with orange-striped fur prowling through the fluorescent-lit aisles of a Terran grocery store, claws clicking softly against the tiled floor, three tails swaying like restless serpents. Every step is a calculated effort not to shatter the fragile human world around her. This is no ordinary shopper. This is Kares, a Deathworlder from a planet where gravity crushes most beings into pulp, now reduced to squinting at canned goods she can't even pronounce. One wrong move, and she could turn a loaf of bread into mush, or worse, scare the humans who've dared to accept her. What brought a creature of such raw power to this mundane earthly chore? Stick with me, and you'll uncover a tale of survival, exile, and the unlikeliest of friendships. My fur bristled as I loomed over the meat aisle, the cold air from the freezers doing little to soothe the tension in my massive frame. My human helper, Nate, tossed packages of chicken, rice, and some leafy green thing I still couldn't name into my cart with a rhythmic thud. I relied on him for this, my retractable talons, sharp enough to gut a vark boar back home, had no finesse for handling Earth's flimsy goods. Last week, I'd accidentally kneaded a loaf of bread back into dough, much to the cashier's dismay. Nate shot me a grin, his freckled face lighting up as he gave a thumbs up. "All good, Tiger Queen? Need anything else before we roll?" I flicked one of my three tails, the motion sharper than I meant, and growled, "That's all." My voice rumbled deeper than a thunderstorm, and a nearby human in a gray scarf flinched, nearly dropping her basket. I winced inwardly. Control was a constant battle here. The squeak of cartwheels and the hum of human chatter filled the air as we moved toward the checkout. Earth, of all places, was my sanctuary. No other world would take a Kares, a Deathworlder bred for a planet of crushing gravity and relentless predators. Yet here I was, navigating a world of glass and whispers. Back on my home planet, Virak, survival was a daily war. Gravity there flattened most off-worlders into unrecognizable heaps within minutes, and the vark boars, hulking beasts with tusks black as void, could tear through an army without breaking stride. My people thrived in that hellscape, our bodies forged for brutality. But even we couldn't withstand the galactic recession that swept through like a plague. Economies collapsed, resources dwindled, and foreign aid was a cruel joke. Barely a trickle reached us. Families starved in the shadow of cracked spires, and I watched as warriors who once hunted with pride became hollow shells, scavenging for scraps. I never wanted to leave, but staying meant death in a filth-ridden alley. So I fled, a refugee of a dying world, seeking any corner of the galaxy that wouldn't cage me for what I am. Most species recoiled at the sight of me. To them, a Kares was a monster, a walking weapon too dangerous to roam free. I'd been turned away from station after station, my pleas met with fear or outright hostility. Earth, though, was different. Humans, with their frail bodies and reckless curiosity, didn't shrink from me. Some stared, sure, but others nodded or even smiled, as if I were just another neighbor. At the checkout now, my talons flexed nervously as the cashier, a young woman with tired eyes, scanned our items without a second glance. No gasps, no trembling hands. Just a bored next in line. I tilted my head at Nate. "Pay for them, under my account." A beep, a receipt, and we were done. He hefted the bags, and I marveled again at how these humans treated me like I belonged. Outside, the Terran sunset assaulted my eyes with its harsh orange glare. I squinted, my paws thudding against the tar pavement as we crossed the parking lot to my modified truck, a hulking vehicle retrofitted to handle my weight and the reinforced oxygen tanks I needed. Nate packed the groceries into the trunk while I fumbled with the data pad in the too tight pocket of my human shorts. The obsidian screen flickered to life, and I grunted in frustration. These devices were so fragile I'd already cracked 2 this month, and credits were a luxury I couldn't spare. When Nate finished, I shoved the pad toward him, the blue projection of the helper app glowing between us. "Right now," I said, careful not to tap the screen myself. He took it with a smirk. "All right, Zara. How high this time?" 4 stars, I rumbled, watching his fingers hover over the rating section. He laughed, the breeze catching his green vest. 4? Come on, I'm your roommate, not just some random hire. I even snagged your favorite low-fat chicken. Why not 5? I yanked open the passenger door, my bulk barely fitting, and tugged his ankle playfully as I settled in. 4 is honesty. 5 is perfection. No one's perfect. Truthfully, I didn't want to linger outside longer than necessary. Earth's thin oxygen clawed at my lungs, a constant reminder of how far I was from home. Nate shrugged, entered the rating, and climbed into the driver's seat, starting the engine with a low hum. The drive back to our apartment on the 5th floor of a crumbling building was quiet, save for the occasional honk of Terran traffic. Earth was in the midst of an economic boom, or so the news feeds claimed, fusion reactors sprouting like weeds, corporations raking in profits. But for folks like me, scraping by on odd jobs and refugee stipends, it felt like a cruel lie. Our shared one-bedroom unit was a testament to that reality. Cramped, with walls peeling at the edges and furniture that groaned under my weight. As Nate unloaded the groceries, I lumbered to the door and twisted the oxygen valve on the wall-mounted thermostat. A sharp hiss filled the room as the pressure doubled, mimicking Virak's atmosphere. Finally, I can breathe, I muttered, the weight on my chest easing. I tried to settle onto the couch to watch some mindless Terran drama on the cracked holo screen, but my foot caught the edge of the brown coffee table. Pain shot through me, and I snarled, "Damn it! Why did humans craft such sadistic little torture devices?" Everything here seemed designed to break or bruise. Meanwhile, Nate buzzed around the kitchen like he'd downed a gallon of their bitter coffee. The high oxygen turned humans into jittery, hyperactive messes, endurance runners on a permanent high. It wasn't ideal, but it made him fast. Flames danced in the pan as he cooked, the scent of chicken, salt, paprika, and peppers wafting through the small space. Within minutes, he handed me a plate piled high with food, steam rising like a soft cloud. "Eat up, Cat Queen. Extra rare, just how you like it." He returned with his own smaller portion, and we dug in. My tail flicked involuntarily at the first bite, the flavor richer than I'd expected. "Human food is fine," I grumbled, though half the plate was already gone. Nate's eyes glinted with amusement, his words rapid fire thanks to the oxygen. "Stop lying. Your tail's giving you away." I ignored him, cranking up the volume on the holo screen to drown out his teasing. Some cheesy teen drama played, all overblown emotions and dramatic stares, but it was a distraction from the ache of displacement. We finished eating as the sunset painted the window in hues of amber and violet, a quiet moment in a world that rarely slowed down for me. Night fell, and we retreated to the single bedroom we shared. Earth's boom hadn't trickled down to better housing for us, and I couldn't afford much on my own. I changed into a flimsy white set of pajamas. Human clothing always felt like it would tear if I breathed too hard. Back on Virak, we slept in whatever we wore. I muttered, fumbling with the fabric. Didn't overcomplicate things, but here, everything breaks if I so much as look at it. Nate chuckled from his side of the bed, already strapping on a sleek electric oxygen mask to lower the O2 he inhaled. Without it, he'd be bouncing off the walls all night. "You'll get the hang of it, Zara. Just takes time." I slid under the thin blankets, the bed creaking under my weight. It was too small, too fragile, much like everything else in this life. But as Nate switched off the lights, plunging the room into darkness, a strange calm settled over me. I'd lost everything: my home, my people, my purpose. And yet, here I was, not entirely alone. Sleep came slowly, my mind drifting to the jagged cliffs of Virak, the roars of Vark boars, and the faces of those I'd left behind. I wondered if they'd survived, or if the recession had claimed them as it nearly claimed me. In the dead of night, my unconscious bulk shifted, wrapping around Nate in a tight, instinctive embrace. A week ago, he'd confronted me about this habit, and I'd stumbled over my words, heat rising to my furred face. "It's a reflex. Karis did this to stay warm in sub-zero storms." It was a lie, and he knew it. My kind prided ourselves on strength, not weakness, like needing warmth from another. But Nate didn't push. He didn't mock or recoil. Instead, he just hugged me back, his smaller frame steady against mine. I didn't understand why humans were like this, Why they offered kindness to a creature who could snap a spine without effort. But in that quiet, shared darkness, it felt like a home I never thought I'd find again. For once, I wasn't a monster or a refugee. I was just Zara, and that was enough. And there you have it, the story of Zara, a Deathworlder finding her place in an unfamiliar world, one fragile step at a time. If this tale of survival, adaptation, and unexpected friendship resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button to show your support. Drop a comment with your thoughts. Did Zara's journey touch you, or do you have a favorite moment? Share this story with friends who love a good mix of sci-fi and heart. And if you want to hear more stories like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's build a community of storytellers and dreamers together. See you in the next adventure.